Hey, hello all. Welcome to another video of Angular 9 tutorial. So in this video, I think we dragged a lot. Last videos we did explain most of the scenarios or most of the concepts of Angular 9. So this video is going to be a practical session. We are going to create this particular beautiful UI, which is created by me. I hope so. That means I created by me, but I hope this is a beautiful UI. But means that whenever you're seeing this video, I think you do have the same feeling which I have now. So this is kind of admin panel. So I'm going to have some payment over here, and I'm going to have some slots, which is going to be slider, and the same way you are going to have a slider over here, and it's kind of a heading which is run behind the slider. So if anything going to be noticed, so it's going to be noticed over here, and you're going to have beautiful home icon. So wherever you go, you can directly come to home. In the future, we're going to have the enhancements like you're going to have some slide bar, navigations, all those things. So initially I thought of creating this same by material UI of our MDB bootstrap. So now I'm thinking like I should be able to explain you by using the default flex of it's by one of my subscribers. So I just want to use you know I just want to have the same concept, like rather than getting and using the simple bootstrap technique or methods. Let me create my own flexes, and let's create this. So I already downloaded all those assets, and have just utilized this on my application. Just kept like this in my component.ts. I'm just keeping like this. So don't worry, it is not going to be a component. So I just use this images, so that's what we're able to see here. So forget about this, and this is the first EDO of this particular UI. It's going to be like the JSON server we're going to involve, because to get a dynamic data. So after that, we're gonna have either Firebase or a MongoDB. We need to check that. But right now we don't have anything like that. That's why we're going to give some array of data, which is going to be there in the service or the pure component itself. It's not a problem. So after that, we're gonna factorize our code, and we're going to use our modular or a MVC pattern. So yeah, that's pretty much the topics, and the pretty much overview of what we're going to create today. So let's get started then. So I have a app, and I'm going to open. See, I got a view open in my Visual Studio Code, but I don't know, because of some reason I'm not able to run ng over there. I need to check that. So here I'm going to create nggc, going to create a component called home component. So home, and that's it. But I'm going to create a component folder, components, and here I'm going to create a home component which is there for a module, and called app. So once it is running, once it's successful running of this particular command, I'm gonna get some component, that's a directory, and inside the directory I should get home component. So yeah, that's done. So I'll be able to see here, right, in components I'll be able to see home component, right? So it's automatically got added all the dependencies. So at the same time I'm going to add this particular home over here, so in HTML. But I have one concept called I don't have anything, right? I should have something called home, or I should have a root but I don't have anything. If I navigate like that, I'll get an error by saying you know no, there is no structure called, or they cannot match any routes, right? So I need to create a route first. So let me create a route. So I already have a route dot what component dot module route dot ts. So here I have something called route, right? So here I'll be able to create array of routes. So here I'm going to create a path. So path is going to be um, so here I'm going to use a path called home. I don't need this, you can directly say home, and I'm going to specify the component. It's going to be home component, which will automatically get installed in imports. oh sorry, it's going to add the dependency over here. So that's it. So once I do that, so if I navigate again to the home, I should be able to get a home directory, right? Isn't it cool, guys? So much cool, right? Yeah, so I'll be able to get all these things also. So let me um, you know create an actual UI first. It's not going to, it's very easy, guys, so it is nothing in that. So I just want to see whether I'm able to get or not, because I did, okay, cool. So first thing, it's going to be that is a white, that's why you're not able to see in the particular brackets over there. So let's get started then. Okay, the first image, and I'm going to create a div, and I'm going to name it div as a container, and inside of the container I'm going to have a div, and I'm going to create something called, I'm going to give my initial name of this, that's going to be news app, right? So NA, and the name of the thing should be header, in a header, and inside the header I'm going to have, yeah, that's it, header. So once I have that, I'm going to place this particular, you know this, and here I'm going to say div dot um, header image, and so I'm going to keep in this my header image. I'm going to have one more things called div dot header text. So the text is going to be this, right? So I'll be able to copy the text from here. So it's admin panel, and I'll be having a small HR over here. So after that I'll be having something called a button, right? So button should be, and button will be having a class called button, and I'm going to use one more class called NA button, or NA button primary. It's my kind of customized button. So the button name going to be having a admin add member, and inside a member I'm going to have something called the same image which I have here, the 51, I think so. So this is how it should be. Let's see how it looks. Okay, this is how it looks, so without any proper what the flexes or things. So after that I'm going to have something called today's payment. So let's get let's clear this first division. I can write a whole things, and I can go for a single CSS, but here I'm going to create one by one. So I have something called NA header. So NA header I'm going to access over here dot by the dot operator, and I'm going to say background color going to be this color. So okay, so here I'll be having the color, right? So or else I can do what I can do, I already declared some variable, right? Inside a variable, what I can do, blue head, and I'm going to give a color of this. Sorry, this is not hash, this should be dollar. It's kind of creating or declaring variable. So this is also I can do, and I can access the same blue color over here, over there. We call, well, so what happened? So it's became ampersand. Sorry, it's not ampersand, it's it should be a dollar. Okay, so I'll be able to assign something called do you want to save the changes in? Yes, I save it. So I did save the change, and I'm going to access a particular, you know, I'm going to say I did it import, and I'm going to import the style sheet called home. It's not in a home, so it's not in this also, and it's in assets, variables, variable.css. So here I'll be able to access this, and I'll be able to give a color code itself in a blue. So what is the name of the color I've given? The blue head, right? So I'll be able to access the same thing over here, and I can give, no, sorry, so here I'm able to get this, give like this, so I'll be able to access something like this. So it's cool, right? So you can use the reusable components or usable colors, so rather than creating. So before that, I have some margin to my divisions and everything, right? I'm going to eliminate all of these things in a one go, just by making so body, I'm going to box sizing, border box level, and I'm going to access all elements in one go. Oh, sorry, on go. I'm going to say the same thing over here, boxer, and the margin should be 0, and the padding should be also 0. So once I do that, I should be able to get here, everything should get negated, but here it's something. I'm going to delete it. Yeah. So this is a division, and this is the main division. It is giving some margin. I hope it is giving by this division. It's kind of container. So I'm going to make the container default by saying container, and I'm going to say it should be have a width of 100%. I'm going to override the partial classes. I don't want it. So it's going to be have a max width of the 100%, and after that the all we need to do, it's like you should remove the margin first, and at the same time you should remove the padding. I can give a no pad no class, but I just want to make sure like you're also following the same thing. Yeah, that's it. So but there is a difference between the color, right? Whatever you're seeing over here and seeing over here, yes, that is because of the opacity which are involved in that color. So we can directly have a lesser opacity, so you'll be able to get the actual color. So that around a 9 opacity. So I'm going to say so I'm going to have access my variable, and I'm going to say the same thing. It's everything is same. I'm going to have something like this. That's it. So I'll be able to get like this, right? Ultimately, so I'll be able to differentiate all the things like this, but all I need to do is like it should be in a same row. It should be in a column wise. So I'm going to say display should be flex, and it's became the same thing, right? Flex. Direction should be inherit, or I can set it as a row, and all I need to do is like there is some padding between the things, right? So that that we can think about it. It's not a problem. So I'm going to save the same thing. So in my home.html .css, and that should be in a header is over. Is it for header? Yeah, it's for header, right? So I can use the same thing. Yeah, this is how it should look. So after that I have something called a border bottom, right? The border radius. So I'll be having something called a border bottom left radius should be 30%. At the same time, border bottom right radius should be, sorry, that's not something problem with my typing now. So it's going to be a 30%. I'll tell you why I'm giving a 30%. It's actually access the whole percentage in that in this format. So I think I did give a wrong percentage, so I'll just increase up to 50. So once it is done, I'll be able to see something like this, which is not at all equivalent to this, because of the padding issues and all those things. Okay, so I'm going to access this image and I'm going to give header image in a proper format. So I'm going to say like I'm going to give a padding of 2% to the particular image. So it will be like this, and so 10%. After that, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it will come to the proper way. Um, so I'm going to say like header image should be in the format of this. Okay, that's it. And at the same time I'm having a set of text also, so I'm not going to differentiate the both. I'm going to say like did I use no, right? So should be equal, guys. So I did a mistake here, so I should not use like this. So I'm able to see like this. It's because of the padding. I'm given a padding to all of the way, right? So I think for a header text you should not give a padding to you know so I'll be able to achieve in the same line in this way. So yeah, all this good. And so I'm using this is something called Poppins. I really love it, so I'll just tell you how to use the Poppins font family. It's Google font family. All you need to do, just get into fonts.google.com and just search for Poppins. And once you get the Poppins, you don't need to do all you need to do, just select the things and you can embed or you can download the things. Okay, so that's how it is. And that's pretty much it. So here I used Avener. I think I did use some other thing, but I really love the font family of Poppins. It's kind of good font. So I'm going to create a one more variable here by saying no universal variable that is going to be a white, and I'm going to create a FFFF. So this is something white here, so I'm going to access the same thing over here by saying color should be white. So once I do like this, I'll be able to get white thing here. So at the same time I'm having something called a letter spacing. So letter spacing, I think I have a 2 pixel of a letter spacing. So maybe let me check. I think it should be 3 pixel. And at the same time I need to check my Poppins, and I have access to 200, 300, 500, 1 and all those things, right? So I'm going to give a font weight of 400 something. It's going to be normal, but it's going to be this cool effect. So after that I have something called HR, right? So I'm going to access a header text with the HR, and I'm going to say background should be white. So I'll be able to get just give me a second, guys. I am getting a call, so I'm going to pause for a second. Hey, sorry guys, it was a call from my mom, so never miss a call from your mom. Okay, so always take the call, it might be anything. So yeah, so after that I did I have mentioned my background over here, and so white is still HR is going to be white, right? And yes, it is white. If I give right, yeah, it is red. It is white. That's cool. And I'm going to have a width of 50% of width, and I'm going to margin it of auto. So when I do something like this, I'll be able to align in a proper way of your exact half of to this. Okay, so I'm going to now copy the same thing and I'm going to paste over here. Yes, that's cool. I'll be able to achieve that particular UI. So after that I have something called where is it? Yeah, here it is. So it is something which is not actual. I really hate if something is not coming in actual way. So but what I can do, I think I did give the much the percentage top padding, so I'm going to give only 10. And so once I give 10, I think I should be able to get somewhere here. That's correct. So I'm going to have the same thing, right? It's in the middle of these two boxes, so I assume that is in between of 15, so it's kind of assume, okay. So it will be coming in, yeah, here it is. So after that, I have something called a button. So button is going to be a, fun, guys, to create a button. So I have a background of a white, and the margin of 1%. I'm going to make it till 3%, and I'm going to have, the font size should be, 12 px. Okay, so I'm going to, margin should be auto, and after that margin, top should be, 4% or some, whatever it is. So first it will become auto, and after that it will become a margin of 4%. So yeah, it's pretty much to it. And I'm going to have something called, I'm going to border radius, I use a 3 pixel, that's it. And I have something called box shadow. It is taking actually, but let me give a box shadow. I love to give a box shadow, so it is going to be 0 pixel and 0 pixel. I'm not going to change it over there. I think 3 pixel and a 4 pixel over there, and I'm going to have something called gray. So I'll be able to achieve like this. In that, what I can do, I can negate this, or I can increase this. If I increase this, I'll get something like this, and if I decrease this, I'll get something like this. So rather than getting gray, so let me get into black, and let me get the actual thing. It's going to be 0%, and in a back also, let me now get into black with the opacity of less opacity. I love this way of writing things, and the 4% is really less, and so it is how it is. And you know that's pretty much about okay, sorry, it is dot na btn primary, and here it is. It looks like this. Okay, so after that, I something have, the curve is pretty much perfect, and this is how it's perfect. And I'm not going to give a padding bottom to the, padding top would be good. Or else I can give something like this. I can use a padding, and I can give, 10% comma 10% comma 10% comma 10%. You know so once I do like this, it will get into same page. Okay, something I give, okay, I cannot use a comma, right? I something, sometime I behaves like, foolish. So just remove the commas over here. Okay, and I'm going to, decrease this part, and I'm going to decrease this part. So rest of the things are pretty much same. This is like, top, left, right, and bottom. So that's how it is work. It will work and like it. So I'm going to, copy that, and I'm putting over here. I'll paste it over here. That's it. I should get the actual thing over here. And the one more thing, I have one more division, right? It's a header text division, so I have not given anything. It's pretty much to that. So I'm going to make it as a flex plan of flex, and a flex direction would be, row. What is wrong with it? Should be column, sorry. And once it is column, and I'm going to justify all the content into center, and I'm going to align all the items into center, so it will negate the if something is not centered. So I'm going to copy the same thing, and I'll just make over here. That's it. So that's cool, right? And after that I have something called card. um, so in that card I'm going to use after this I'm going to have something called due dot card, and inside the card I'm going to have something called p, and so after p I'm going to place it is okay, I'm not going to place anywhere, and I'm going to have something called image. So image is nothing but this, right? So this is the third image. Control X, and I'm going to click Control V, and I have something to have this today's payment is the one, and in the same time I have something called span, that I'm going to write this particular dollar. Control V. Yeah, cool, right? Yeah. So now it look like this, and I'm going to structureize this in the proper way. So card is something I'm going to have a display, and I'm going to have a flex, and flex direction in a format of the row, and I'm going to justify the content in a space around would be great, and I'm going to say like align items into center. And after that I have something called it should be the margin top will be um, 2 percentage, and yeah, pretty much. And I'm going to have a width of it's almost 80%, and I'm going to give a margin auto. Sorry, my sometime I do some shitty work. It's almost 90%, and margin top should be here, not here. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to have a margin bottom also, like this. So this is pretty much to it, and I don't have any border, right? So border should be none, and I'm going to use the same box shadow which I used for this. Box shadow must be common throughout our application. So here it is, and I'm going to use the box shadow it is, and I'm going to say border radius will be of part on a previous, that's 3px, and it will be 6 pixel. Oh, box shadow, I'll take that word back. It's not looking good. So uh, so I'll say okay, this is it, and I think I'll just less that particular. Okay, this is pretty much to it, and a space around I'll change this to space between. If I give around, then everything will be get into problem. So I'm going to say padding 1%, that's going to be a top, and 1% and a 3% and a 2%. So here something it can be 0, not a problem, but here it should be like this, and it's cool, and a top should be somewhere like this. Okay, so it's going to be the proper way. Still I'm not able to get that something over there, right? And it's because of I don't have the bottom padding in a proper way. So before that I'll just check that. I'll just copy this, and I'll just make a card over here. And I'll paste it twice this. We're able to see like this. Okay. I think it's because of top it is not this. Sorry, padding. Something called P, right? So here I'm going to going to deal with a P. So P is something I'm going to text should be center align. I have align, how I did it. It is not center. It's going to be a left align then. So I'm going to say like font weight should be almost 800 it is, and I'm going to say text not transform to upper capitalize, not capitalize, uppercase. And I'm going to say like the font size, it's going to be a 14 pixel, 16 15 it is, and the letter spacing should be 3 pixel 2 pixels, maybe because of this font size. Okay, so this is how it is, and I'm going to copy the same thing to my card P. So what I can write, and I can say like card, and inside P I'm going to say like this. And at the same time I have something called this, right? Somewhere it is getting padding top. It's actually exactly centered like that, so I don't want to use the padding over here. I just want to use right and left padding. So I'll just here it is. It's exactly center, and now so I'm going to say I'm going to paste the same thing over here, and I have something called the P padding. It should be mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I think I can give 3. It's pretty much cool. I could have give 3% itself rather than giving, but just for the specifications and just getting all things proper way, so I did give that. So here it is, and I'm going to use this pan now, and I'm going to use a font size of that was a 15, right? I'm going to utilize that to 19 pixel. So I think I have a padding over here, so padding should be 0. It should be important, even it is there, and not for that, it should be padding should be 0. It should be important, and margin should be 0. It should be important. Okay, that's pretty much to it, and I'm going to copy the same thing over here. That was, I think it was a card, it was a card piece, so I'm going to utilize the same thing over here, and at the same time I'm going to access something called a dot card and a span, and here I'm going to say a font size should be 18 pixel, which should it because never I used percentage, right? So I'll just use to 21 pixel there. Okay, it will increase the card size. Okay, it is really cool. So now I am getting this annoying the home page. So home should be mm, background is white, padding should be, I should give a 2 percentage, and border you red 1 pixel solid red, okay. And I'll just make the border radius to 100 percentage to make the perfect thing. And after that padding is something I need to think about. Whether it look like this, so again 0 percentage and a 0 percentage and a 7 percentage. I'm going to have a 7 percentage here and 7 percentage. So here somewhere it is sticking between Okay, cool, right? I feel like it's middle. hmm and I'm not going to give any border over here, so because I just have box shadow, one and a blur putting. So here, I'm going to remove this border first, and I'm going to utilize this border. I pretty much loving that border, so I'm going to keep that border button also. So here it is. Right, border radius should be now 100%, and all the things now will change. Position should be fixed, and the top should be, bottom should be 0, and the text align should be center, and align it should be center. So this is pretty much to it, and I'm going to work on this. This is pretty much cool, I think, and after that I'm just copying this, and I think I didn't give any, you know thing over here, so this is something, right? This is a thing you should have somewhere, division. I'm going to give a class called home button. At the same time, I'm going to say I'm going to okay, so it is for this home button here, right? And the division, I'm going to write something, home button. So I'm going to say width of the division should be 100%. Oh, sorry, what happened? Uh-huh. Yes, it's pretty much to it, and I did a mistake here. What I could do, right, this padding and the border radius, all those things I can, utilize it for a home button. Inside home button, I have something called A, right? So I'll just use it here. It pretty much it will give the same thing, but I can do anything with this home button because it's now free. So I'm going to have a width of home button will be 100%, and okay, I should take it off the position fixed also. So let me check, because I'll let you know. So this is how I should get now. So don't worry, and it's going to be cool. This home button, and I'm going to have something called, which should be 100%, and display is something called, flex, and justify content, it should be a center, and align item should be a center, and I'm going to have position is on a fixed way, and I'm going to have a bottom should be 0. Cool, right? Isn't it cool, guys? Yeah. uh, yeah, this is pretty much CSS. I'm gonna love it in the future. So I'll be able to something it's clickable also. I don't have anything to use, right? So I'll just try to use home, how it looks. I have something called, divisions, which going to be have a, width as per the things. This is aligned in a proper way, but still I'm not happy with the structure over here. So the structure should be in a proper way. So div dot the main content should be having this. Let me check. It doesn't have a width over there, right? Let me write a code for the management. why again and again I'm just switching it. I can just switch the tabs, right? So here let me check what I can do. The main content should have a padding of up to percentage. Let me check how it works. Yes, it has a padding now. At the same time, I have something called divisions inside the main content. So I'm going to write div dot what exactly that is. It's just schedules, right? I'm going to say schedule card. Okay, so inside I have something called div dot schedule card, yeah, into 4 maybe. Okay, so this is how, and each card contains something, right? It's called 10 a.m. here. I'm going to put something like so at the same time I have something called 20 members. Okay, so it is pretty much to it, and so each things I'm going to have a class because you know time, and I'm going to have some class called text. So it is a scheduled card time and scheduled card text. So don't worry why I'm giving that kind of things, you may wonder. Now let's work on a schedule card. Okay, so before that, make sure you have given this with everything. Now that's pretty much to it. Now we have a scroll to this, right? But should have a horizontal scroll. So schedule cards, I'm going to say now display should be flex. When I say flex, it's pretty much to it, and width is always 100% or auto, and at the same time I should have a margin left, should be 5% as per my fix. So 17%, 18%. Okay. And I'm going to say margin top 10%, which is minus. Okay, and I'm going to have a overflow scroll. So here I can scroll the things. This is much about scrolling, and now I can access this particular schedule cards, right? So let me get into our main content. After that, schedule cards. This is going to be a thing, and after that I have something called schedule card. Now it's going to be a fine now. This is pretty much, and I'm going to have a schedule card in each and everything. So each card contains schedule card, right? Card, yes, cool, that is the one. And I'm going to have a background to be white, and what else I can have? I can have a padding of 1% each. I can make 2% each. So after that, each going to be having a width on a basis of the thing, so that I can take care of it. It's not a problem. And I'm going to say margin left should be so 1%. So let me put it for all the scheduled cards here. So it will happen for, it will apply for all the cards with a proper 1% are given, right? Let me get into a 3%. so you'll be able to see some kind of gap between that. So I'm going to use the same again. I'm going to copy this box shadow, so I'm going to paste it over here. I should get a box shadow for each and everything, so in a proper way. Okay, so this is pretty much to it, and I think height should be auto. Somewhere it is cutting all the textures, right? So we'll check its padding. Because of padding? No, it's not because of padding. I think the whole mm I think margin bottom should be 1%. High. What happened? No. So the height is auto, and if I give 100 pixel, so it's going to be a not because of that, it is because of this. So schedules. It's because of overflow. Yeah, so overflow, I think I should go overflow, but I should give it for only for x. This is for x, and at the same time I should give height should be not 200 pixel. It's 51 pixel. So each schedule should have a height of 100 pixel to 109 pixel. So this is how it should work, and I'm going to copy the same thing here. The first thing is for cards. It's not, yeah, it's for cards. Isn't for cards, it's not for cards, it's for card. And after that I have something called a cards also. Let's check how it works. It's cool, right? We're having something called something cool. So now I'm going to work on this particular P, and a P you have the font size of 12 pixel. Okay, so after that I'm going to have a font or weight of font weight of 600. I think schedule class is a flex, right? And I should give a flex of 300 pixel. Yeah, no. The last class I did explain you one thing, right? If you remember, in initial classes, how to maintain a flex with a proper or a constant width. So that I mentioned in the last session called tutorial codes and HTML and HTML, and maybe chapter 2 it was. Flex, somewhere it is flex 50%. So chapter 1. Let me check. Okay. So let's not waste our time. So component CSS, and it's how it should be. I can give a width of, I give an auto, right? I can give 300 pixel each. Okay. Um. Okay. So let me refresh the thing, and let me work it on. Now font size should be now 14 pixel, and font size is over. So after that, I'm going to copy the same thing to dot text, not dot text, that is something dot time, right? So here in time it's going to be have a font, so everywhere it will apply, so all the times. At the same time, I have something called 29 members. Inside 29 members, I forgot to mention something called span. And inside the span, I'm going to maintain these members, just because to differentiate the font size between that. So I'm going to have something like, yeah, that's pretty much. And after that, I think all we can do 29 members, and this is something, get into that, and 29 should be high, right? So first I'm going to work on dot text is the something. My second div is no. Okay, so now I have something called 20 members. So yeah, and for that I'm going to give a font, weight should be 600. I'm going to say font size should be now 20 pixel. Okay, so at the same time I'm going to say 20 pixel. Let me make it more for now. This is for a text. Sorry if you feel bored, you may already know this. So text and span. So I'm going to say, same font size. I'm going to reduce that to 18%. So let's see how it works. So this is how it works, and I'm going to say, letter spacing 3 pixel, and I'm going to say, text transform uppercase, and 18 should be reduced to 15 or something. Okay, it's got reduced to 15. So this is how we achieve the side navigation. It will remain same for all the mobiles, okay, don't worry about it. It will remain same for all the mobiles. It's a pure responsive design, so I love iPhone X, so that's why I keep like this. Okay, so this is how we created this thing. But it is not that much of height, right? So we should work it on a height. So padding is something I given, right? So I'm going to use percent and 0% and 0%. So I'll be able to see like this, right? So get into this else it will be like this. Okay, cool. So this is pretty much to it, and so this part is remaining, right? So yeah, that will be think what is the total video size it's going to be. So I think let me cover that in the next video, because it's already, you know, it's now 55 minutes. So I don't want to use much more time on the same thing, because it's going to be the same pattern, right? So this is pretty much to it, guys. So you can you can create any kind of a mobile application with the pure CSS also, so not at all problem. So it's going to be very cool. So yeah, that's it. So till I think yeah, that's it for now. So stay tuned for the next video that we're going to integrate the services and HTTP things, and we're going to create some JSON, and we're going to apply this as a JSON. So all those things going to be very pretty much. It's going to be, we're going to create some, use some directives, and we're going to use that directives like ng4, ngif and all. So this is pretty much to it, and we're definitely going to continue in the next session in a proper way. And thank you for watching, guys. So bye bye.